Hello, my name is David. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming at you with my August TBR, and this is where you're going to expect me to talk about 837 books that I'm planning to fit into my month of reading, and you're not going to find that this month. I'm going to take a couple of big steps back on my TBR and try to keep it manageable. So what is going to be on my TBR? Well, I have a Ray Bradbury book for my Read Every Ray Bradbury, so I'm going to be reading The Illustrated Man. So if you have been interested in reading this one, feel free to join along. This is a reread for me. I remember enjoying it immensely. This has, if I remember correctly, yes, one of my absolute favorite Bradbury stories in here with the belt is the one that opens it up. So it's a fantastic book, great read. I'm going to do my Read Every Antonia Fraser. So this is Robin Hood. I'm not optimistic about this after the King Arthur, but I'm a little less stingy about my Robin Hood retellings than I am about my King Arthur retellings, so there's some hope there. I've got my medieval monthly pick with the Song of Roland, this particular one being the Robert Harrison translation. My Inkling Along pick with War in Heaven by Charles Williams. I have my Caesar Along. So I'm going to be reading Gallic War by Julius Caesar. Those are the ones I'm solidly committing to. I will read those. I've got some graphic novels. If you watched my comic thing, you saw that I checked out a Marvel Masterworks of Daredevil and Saga Volume 1. I'll probably read those because it's nice. It's a good thing to slot in between other things I'm doing. I did commit with the page 112 challenge where I read page 112 out of these 5 books. I have them here in order. So number 5 was Last Light of the Sun by Guy Gavriel Kay. I was very disappointed with the page that I had there. It was the very end of a chapter, so it wasn't even a full page, and the page it wasn't that exciting. I really need to read a Guy Gavriel Kay. I may end up mood reading it this month anyway. Then we have The Dark Beyond the Stars by Frank M. Robinson. That was the one set in space with the sealing up the wounds. Annals of the Witch World by Andre Norton. So that was from the first book that was in here. It's a trilogy that's in there. So that was from Witch World itself. And that one was okay. You know, standard old fantasy. Next was The Land That Time Forgot by Edgar Rice Burroughs. That was the one with the beast chasing down on them and full of action-packed excitement. But the winner is, to my surprise, Robert E. Howard, The Worms of the Earth. And as Michael Cavon correctly picked out, the story that it came from in there was Kings of the Night. So this is another collection of Robert E. Howard stories. I don't think any of these are going to be Conan stories, but it's got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 stories in there. So I'm excited to read more Robert E. Howard. I've already come out and said he may end up being one of my absolute favorite authors by the end of this. I still need to finish The Coming of Conan. I may finish it this month. I'm not prioritizing that, so that'll probably be a continuation in August because I really want to read that. And then the other one that I'm committing to in my Discord, which I'll have linked to join my Discord because you can still join and put something in there for next month. I took a book recommendation, one book, any book from each of my members in there, and I believe 11 of the 20 folks in there have done so. And so I've got the magic wheel back. I'm going to spin. And whatever that book is, I will attempt to read over the course of August. I won't commit to and promise to finishing it in August, but I will at least pick it up and start it. So let's see what this magic book is going to be. There's some interesting ones on here. Ones I haven't heard of that I need to look into more. Ones I know that I've needed to get to. So this is Palace by Catherine Kerr. know nothing about it. I'm excited to read it. So that one I will try to track down this month and give it a read. There are some buddy reads out there that are tempting, ones that I've semi-committed to. There's a Faulkner in August where they're reading Sanctuary. That one is probably very, very low priority for me. I haven't read any Faulkner novels, and I'm not excited to dive into this one. There's a lot of people in that. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun if I get a copy and read through it. We'll see. A while ago, like 3 months ago, I committed to a group read of Memoirs of a Geisha. This would be a reread for me. But I am kind of excited to get back into this one and give it another shot. So I may end up still grabbing this, or at least downloading the audio and listening to most of it. And then the one that I'm most likely to jump on and stay committed to is reading of Histories by Herodotus. I really want to read this, so I will probably stick with this one, being kind of led up by Book Time with Elvis. I know Michael K. Vaughan is in there, Jack from the Rambling Raconteur is in there, and some other great folks, so I will probably go with that. There's whispers from Steve Donahue that he'd like to continue doing more readings of J.R.R. Tolkien going forward. So if something comes up for that, I'll probably be on board with hosting that. But by and large, I just want to stick with ones that I'm hosting, probably going forward. I've already got enough to keep me busy. I'm excited to keep going into medieval stuff, to keep going into Inkling works with folks, because those are the things that get me excited. Those are the ones I want to talk about. I don't want to bog myself down with ones that I'm less excited about, and prevent myself from reading what I choose to off of my shelves, because I've got plenty of books that I want to read. I'm very likely to pick up my copy of, I think it's the Odyssey, that Matthew from Mayberry Book Club and Steve Donahue are going to be reading this month. I'll probably try to fit that one in, because I've wanted to reread the Iliad and the Odyssey for years now. And really want to do that, but I'm not going to commit to that. So yeah, I really just want to keep things mostly open. So the big ones are the three that I'm leading discussions on: the Caesar, the War in Heaven, and then the Illustrated Man. And I'm excited about all three of those. And I'll probably, or not the Illustrated Man, the Song of Roland, sorry. And then the two Read Every Book by, I'll probably try to knock out another book from each of those. But beyond that, I want to stay completely uncommitted to everything else, which is a very different approach than the last couple months. And I want to see how that kind of works out for me. Now, you may be also wondering what types of videos I'm going to do, if I'm going to be doing full reviews, going back to that, if I'll be going to sticking with the Friday reads. And the short answer is I don't know yet. I like both. I see merit to both. I like that I'm able to tag along my games that I've played in my Friday reads. But I may end up just doing the Friday reads and reviewing the ones I'm excited to review when I get done with them, and do kind of a mix of both. So we'll see how it goes from there. But all in all, I decided over the course of the weekend, it was a busy weekend anyway, but I don't want to try to do the Michael K. Vaughan, Steve Donahue schedule of a video a day. I want to spend time reading and enjoying what I'm going through. So don't worry, things like the Appendix N challenge I'll still be chipping away at. The vintage books I'll probably still be chipping away, and those will be perfect mood reads to pick up as I go. I'm always happy to do one-on-one buddy reads. I had a great time talking with Beth Ann about A Hobbit, a Wardrobe, and a Great War. I've really enjoyed going through Ship of Magic so far with Rachel as reading. We're probably 2/3 of the way through the book, and it's just picking up, and we're both excited to get through to the end. I'm even buddy reading Legendborn right now, and I'm about 1/3 of the way into that book, and enjoying that. And I've got other buddy reads coming up. Pillars of the Earth next month. So I'm not opposed to buddy reading SPQR with Very Literary Carrie coming up. So yeah, I just want to keep things open and not feel like my entire month can't deviate from what I set out at the beginning of the month. Yeah, and there were more books than I had expected to be pulling for talking about this, but that's the way it goes when you pre-commit to things and then have to figure out, okay, what ones am I going to drop off on? What ones are priorities? And I definitely wanted to live up to the appendix or the page 112 challenge. An excuse to read Robert E. Howard. I probably would have grabbed this or a different Robert E. Howard anyway. The rewarding my early Discord joiners by committing to one of theirs. I avoided the Terry Pratchett bullet. There were 2 of those in that chamber, but eventually I'll get around to reading Pratchett. So yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry it got kind of rambly here at the end. It's kind of late. I'm kind of exhausted, so I'm gonna kind of just finish off Nine Princes in Amber and call it a night. So have a good night, BookTube.